Good evening. I'm Timidan, the Conflux African Dev Advocate, and welcome to another session. And today we'll be diving deep into a lot of like things about blockchain games and metaverse, and we'll be going deep into most of these topics by bringing in like a lot of experienced people that have actually like built a lot of products in this particular space itself. So first and foremost, to be having Jackson, who is the co-founder and also the CEO of Defi Nation and Age of Tanks. And just as a reminder, you can actually like fill out the form just down below in the the YouTube live stream just to get your posts. So yeah, over to you, Jackson.
Hi, I'm Neil. Can you hear me?
Yeah, sure.
Hi everyone, I'm Neil. I'm the founder and CEO of Age of Tanks. Before I get started, let me show you a video of our game first.
Hi, Jackson. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah, you can continue now.
Hi everyone, I'm Neil once again. I hope you guys have enjoyed our video. I'm gonna pull up a deck so that I can assist myself in my presentation in a while. Can you guys see the presentation right now? Hi everyone, let me do an introduction on us first. I'm the founder and CEO of Age of Tanks, but our game studio is actually called Defi Nation, Definition Studios. So, what is Definition Studios? So Age of Tanks is the first GameFi protocol that we have ever launched. But our studio is made up of 100 men strong, mainly in the coding, game development, designing, marketing, and our total packs right now is 100 packs. And our marketing team is mainly in the Southeast Asia and all around the world, connecting different communities. So I think we are here today to learn what is GameFi. So I think GameFi has been very, very exciting over the past 1 to 2 years, especially the past 1 year. Everybody is talking about it. Everybody's talking about GameFi. Everybody's talking about Metaverse. As long as you're in the crypto scene, I'm very, very sure you guys have heard of Axis Infinity. How many wonderful stories and amazing legends that we have heard. So, what is GameFi and why is GameFi? So, to me, GameFi is actually very small right now compared to traditional gaming. What do I mean by traditional gaming? Like our handphone, we have our mobile games, PlayStation. On the PC end, we have Steam. We have all these games that we have been playing for the past 10, 20, 30, or even 40 years. So, GameFi compared to all of this is still pretty small right now. But what is the main difference between GameFi and traditional gaming? So last time when we play games, inside the games we will earn different credits and different attributes, and all this is just there to make the whole gameplay more enjoyable. But right now with the blockchain technology and the GameFi scene, all these credits and all these honors that we have been earning in the game for the past 10, 20 years in our gaming history are right now being able to be recorded on the blockchain. So it becomes legitimate income for a lot of players right now. So imagine last time when we were young, we have been playing a lot of games. Like I'm not sure about the age group of the audience today, but one of the first game I ever played was the snake game on Nokia handphone. So you see, every time I win a game, I'm so excited, but actually I get nothing out of it. So right now with GameFi, every time you do something great inside the game, you don't just feel great. You are able to actually earn a different stream of income right now. So not just that, GameFi and Play to Earn is currently changing the world. Let's look at Axis. Look at the amount of scholars that Axis produce and how it really helped a lot of people in Philippines, especially for the past 2 years of pandemic. I think pandemic really hit the world hard in terms of everything. Lives are lost, lives are disrupted, and most importantly, economies got shut down. A lot of retail, a lot of different industries got badly hit. A lot of people lost their job. A lot of people couldn't even put food on their table for their family. And with the birth of Axis and with the birth of GameFi, it was able to put food on the table for a lot of Philippines family. And I think this is pretty amazing. It has created an entire new industry which is going to help the world. Because number one, not just from the scholars' point of view, people who play the game and earn money, it created a lot of job and opportunity in the entire industry. I mean, I've been in the traditional gaming studio for the past 6 years. There was never a time where the demand for designers, coders, game developers was so high. And it creates so much job and opportunity. And with the birth of social media, a lot of KOLs right now can do this for a living. And it allows players to purchase in-game directly from developers. And basically, the sky is the limit. An entire new industry is created and millions of jobs is out there for people to have a better living for themselves. So based on the BGA game report of 2021, we can see that right now, there's 1.4 million unique wallets interacting with game apps every day. This is really amazing. And a lot of hot money is pouring in. And not just that, this increasingly interest in the game sector has lured VCs from all around the world to invest over $4 billion in blockchain-based games and infrastructure. And guys, I can tell you, this is just beginning. So I've been telling everyone, we are right now in the greatest transfer of wealth in the history of human mankind. So please do not miss this out. And today I'm here to teach you, if you were to be a cryptopreneur, you want to start a GameFi protocol, I'm going to share with you our experience, how we started AOT from a grassroots point of view until today and what we have achieved. So before we even get started on Age of Tank, why this game? There's a thought process. What's the thought process? First, in the word GameFi, the word game comes first. So you always need to think, what is the game mechanics first? So there's always a struggle between the balance of play versus earn. Right now, in the traditional gaming scene, everybody play game to enjoy themselves, to kill time, not to earn money. But right now, in the play to earn scene, most of the players are scholars. Most of the players are playing the game because they want to earn. Of course, this is nevertheless a very important element of GameFi. But if this is the only element, it will hamper and limit the possibilities on the future. So every game developer, especially into the GameFi scene, must have that balance in their mind between the play and the earn factor. So not just that, you must be able to balance the amount of people playing for money and the amount of people that's truly attracted to the game and willing to play long term, so they can get to enjoy earning and playing at the same time. Then a lot of developers coming into the scene are thinking, hey, how can I be the next Axis? So they started to think that Axis has very normal graphics compared to a lot of games out there that we have played on PlayStation. So they are thinking that, hey, we should do a AAA game. So we can hear this term keep flying around. Oh, we are a AAA game. We have solid graphics. However, if we look back in the history of gaming, the game with the best graphics might not be the most earning game. It might not be even the game with the most downloads in the world. So there's a balance to it. Don't be caught up by the temptation or the hallucination that a AAA game will definitely do better than a not so beautiful game. So there's a lot of factors that determine what is a good GameFi protocol. So, however, we must understand that if a GameFi protocol only places all its efforts on the earning part, it's not going to last forever. So here at Age of Tanks, we realize this balance must be done gradually as well, so that we did not roll out our full game since day one. Actually, we had this game for quite some time already. It was actually on Play Store 2 years back because we have been a game studio, but we took it down and we gamified it. So, but we realized that there's a learning curve to everything, especially in the GameFi scene, because a lot of the players and a lot of the investors, a lot of the scholars are pretty new to this. So we need to separate it into different phases for our consumers, for our investors, and for our players to learn along the way. That's why we broke it up into an alpha game launch, beta game launch, and the full game launch, which is coming on the 1st of May next month. So what is AOT? AOT is the world first self-assembly NFT tank game in the market. And not just that, inside we have PvE, PvP, and you can have open land and facilities, NFT marketplace, Umbrodium, etc., etc. Next, when we were designing the game, we were thinking of one of the most important elements inside a protocol, which is the game tokenomics, you see. And most of the investors, the first thing they want to know is how your tokenomics run. So the first question of game tokenomics, whether you are a dual token or a single token. So let us run through a few different scenarios. So what are the famous examples of dual token? Of course, there's the Axis Infinity, Bomb Crypto. What are the pros? The pros is the governance token is mainly designed to attract investors that hold long term, that believe in the feasibility and the scalability of the project, and the utility token for the players who are playing every day and earning the in-game credits. So what are the challenges is it puts all the selling pressure onto, for example, SLP. And it will be pretty difficult for a new game outside of Axis if you use a dual token. You're placing all the selling pressure onto one token. So that is the part that will determine the income of most players. So any movement downward will be a very negative impact. So as we were pondering over this, and in the end, eventually at Age of Tanks, we decided on a single token. So what is the good and bad about a single token? So single token projects have one token that support every economic roles inside the game. For example, CryptoZone, Hashland, and of course, Age of Tanks. So the cost of the NFT and the PVE returns will be highly connected to the token price. So these are the pros where you combine all the utilities to one token, which means anyone that comes into AOT, if they want to buy in-game assets, they want to forge, they want to assemble, everywhere they go, they need to use AOT. So they need to buy this token, right? So when you play, you're earning AOT token as well. So in a way, this token not only have selling pressure, it also has buying demand. So in this way, we are confident that we can provide our players, our investors with a better game tokenomics environment. So from this chart, you can see all the different use case of Age of Tanks. So how does the game go? First, you can play for free. And as you are playing, you will earn Brodium, which is an in-game credit that can be translated into war chest. Once you open up this war chest, there are different parts to the war chest because all our tanks is made up of 4 different parts. And all 4 different parts is made up of different attributes and different special ability. Once you find the 4 that you like, assemble them together, mint it into NFT, and you can start entering our PvP, and you start earning AOT tokens with us. And along the way, there's a lot of different functions and different utilities that we throw inside all into that one single token. So this is the good edge of a single token protocol versus a dual token protocol. So next, we all know that a lot of GameFi projects come and go. Great hype. A lot of people came on board. A lot of people make money, but some also lose money because not every project has a plan or is able to execute on the plan to make sure that they are sustainable long term. So today, I feel a lot of people is talking about Web3. But before we go to Web3, let's solve GameFi 1.0 and 2.0 first. Most of the GameFi protocols out there that we see are still in the GameFi 1.0, which means what? Either you use Ethereum, you use BNB, you use their governance token, or you use any kind of token. You buy the NFT, and you use the NFT to play game. Every time you win or you participate, there will be a reward for you. So it's more like a one-way traffic. I buy the NFT and I earn money every single day based on the participation or the credits for my game ability inside. But we all know that be it single token or dual token, if the game is only played like this, it will be a challenge to sustain it on a long-term basis. So I feel overall, the GameFi scene needs to transit from the GameFi 1.0 to the 2.0. So what is GameFi 2.0? GameFi 2.0 need to make use of the concept of smart NFTs. Smart NFTs meaning what? Meaning your NFT can grow within the game, which is very, very important. So we don't put just the earning of the entire GameFi protocol on the selling pressure token itself. Instead, it encourages player to grow their NFT within the platform itself. So it's not necessary that I spend the most money to buy the most expensive NFT and forever I'll be the top earner inside this GameFi protocol. This is GameFi 1.0. But for 2.0, players can, based on his own efforts and rewards inside the game itself, and grow your NFT with it. And because of the increase of level of your NFTs, is able to do more things in the game, which will lead to a higher value of this NFT, which means your floor price of your NFT increases. This is also a form of income for players or investors, but it is not so hard packed on just the selling of tokens. So I feel the first game to really do a good transition from GameFi 1.0 to GameFi 2.0 is going to be pretty interesting. And not just that, it needs to really tap on to the traditional gamers out there. Guys, we came from the traditional gaming background. GameFi sounds really cool, really fun, really big, sounds to be so profitable, but I can tell you the entire revenue is just 5% compared to all the games out there. There are still a lot of gamers out there that play game not for a living, just because they enjoy it. And every day they are spending so much money into their game. I don't know whether you guys spend a lot of money in games before. Like me personally, I spend ridiculous money inside a game just to make myself happy. And I feel if I have a choice, if I were to spend a lot of money to play a game again, and I have the chance to earn back this money, I'll be happy to do that. But for that to happen, we need to bring the 95% of the gaming crowd that hasn't come into the GameFi scene, which means what? We need to attract them using esports tournaments. We need to incentivize these players to come in, not just on tokens, but the game must be fun itself. So NFT, smart NFT integration is pretty complicated, but like I said, the main gist of it is to make sure your NFT can grow within the game, thus increasing the utilities and the value of this NFT, which will lead to a higher floor price. So the income that you're expecting from GameFi protocols doesn't come from a singular component of selling of tokens, which is all linked, you see. Then next, as you're starting a GameFi protocol, you must be thinking, hey, how do you want to do it? Do you want to do it with the IDO method, IEO method, IFO method, or even the fair launch method? So how's your tokenomics going to be like? Are you going to be aggressive, or is it a long-term vesting with high cliff? So when are you going to do your INO? Are you going to go for launch pads? How much of the proportion? All these must be, calculated in mind. And a lot of projects, especially new projects that hasn't really launched a GameFi protocols before, they miss out on the importance of market making, liquidity pool, and getting listed on different exchanges, DEX or SEX. It all requires, a good amount of money. So all these need to be planned properly. And in terms of marketing, which is one of the most important element inside a GameFi protocol, how are you going to do your advertisement? How are you going to do your paid ads? It's all not as simple as you think it is. And especially a lot of games right now, they like to come in and hire KOLs, pay KOLs to even do that. And I can frankly tell you, not every KOL is going to move the market for you. And even if there's a lot of KOLs online speaking about projects, doesn't mean it will immediately translate into buying demand, or it doesn't mean that the customer acquisition cost is justifiable. And some KOLs, which are the real good KOLs, you can't pay them to show you, you see. You need to really attract them using your good project, good track record, good social base, good delivery of timeline, good backers, before they really come in and participate with you and talk about your project. And they would even pay you for it. And community management is another thing that a lot of cryptopreneurs are not putting enough effort and a lot of attention to. It's not about just starting a Telegram group or a Discord group, throwing some bots. That's not the way. You need to really connect with your community, which is the most important thing. And in terms of partnership, I'm sure everybody would like to be backed by Binance, backed by Conflux, backed by all the layer one chains, but it doesn't happen every day. But doesn't mean that grassroots projects don't have a chance. The best part about blockchain, the best part about crypto space is anybody can be a cryptopreneur, which means it's not closing its doors like the traditional finance market or the traditional, like, if you want to build something on the PlayStation, it's not going to be so simple. It's dominated by the few players. But in terms of the crypto scene, the GameFi scene, the sky is the limit. Anyone can do it. So you need to really decide whether you're going for the huge backers or are you going to do grassroots. Like personally, for Age of Tanks, we started as a grassroots. We were nobody inside the crypto space. So we worked very, very hard to make sure that our community connects with us. Every single one of our mod, we treat them with respect, and we have one-to-one meetings with them, and we hear from them from the first hand how to improve our game. And because of the way we connect with our community, and most important part, game development. Is the game developer in-house or outsourced? There are a lot of GameFi protocols out there where a few smart boys came together and say, hey, let's do a GameFi protocol. So they'll buy like a default game from some game developers, and they'll just throw it out with some nice video and raise some money. Of course, in a bull market, everything works, and they do raise some money. But whether they are able to really deliver on the game is another story. And I'm sure you guys also know not every GameFi protocol really managed to last 2 years, 3 years, or even 3 months. So this is a very important note to consider as well. So for Age of Tanks, we are in-house. Our IT team is around 60 packs. And it's because of this and the way we connected with our community, we were able to edit and grow the game as to the requirements of our community. So end of the day, after 6 months of hard work, we made a lot of mistakes along the way. We also learned a lot of things along the way. But I think one of the most important things we did was Team AOT did more than 70 live AMAs worldwide. So we connected with almost every demographic, and we work with a lot of different partners every day. Till today, 6 months in, every day we are announcing new partnership with other GameFi protocols, other partners from other industry to make sure we provide more utilities back to our protocol. And I think this is very important. End of the day, right now, we are ranked top 20 in terms of BSC GameFi, and it's reflected on the radar. And we are recommended by over 150 KOLs internationally, of which notable mention will be Alex Becker, Crypto Banter, and Elo Trades. These are all amazing people in the KOL space. We are so lucky to be picked up by them 4 to 5 times already in their videos, and we have been featured in over 30 international media. 20,000 unique wallets has already connected with us during our alpha launch in January. We did it for a month right now in our beta. And so our alpha and beta total, we have accumulated 800,000 battles. And on CMC, we have over more than 8 million put AOT on their watch list. So I think this is very important that we have done this. But nevertheless, guys, this is the time to really build something. A lot of people might think that money is earned during the bull market. I can tell you money might be earned in the bull market, but a good protocol is always born during the bear market, because this is the best time for you to build something. And I believe that those protocols out there, as long as you keep building, really build something that the community wants. Don't build a game that you want. We are in a whole new different world. We love, why are we all in the crypto space, in the GameFi space, is because we enjoy this decentralized environment where everybody's voice matters. So I think the most important part, despite of all the mistakes that we have ever done, I think the best part is we really connect with our community members through our alpha, through our beta. We reward people for contributing good ideas back to the game, or even help us find a bug and we will correct it, and we will edit the game live based on the suggestions. And as it grows, our number grows. And with this, with 8 million on our watch list, I'm very, very sure that once the entire world is more clear, the potential world war is not helping the situation, of course, but we hope that there's world peace everywhere. Lives are important, and I hope that the war will end soon, the pandemic will totally end soon, so that everybody can have a better space and a better earth to live on, and to really fight for their dreams. And I think those who have aspiring intention to come into the crypto scene, please do come in right now during the bear. Once you have established a place here, really build something, keep building, keep charging, keep doing what's best for the community, and really deliver on all your pipeline and milestone. I'm very sure that this is going to help a lot of people. And in the new world, there's lesser jobs. A lot of things are replaced by technology and robots. So I think GameFi has been amazing for the past 1 year. It has created so much opportunity for people worldwide. Whether you're old, you're young, you're creative, as long as you want to come in, learn it, hustle, hustle hard, fight hard, keep charging, and I believe the sky is the limit. So with this, I've come to the end of my sharing today. This is a brief summary of what each of them had come through, and I really hope that on 1st May when we roll out our full game launch, we are able to serve a huge, a bigger community and to really bring value to more people around the world. Thank you, guys. Let's stop the share.
Awesome. That was actually a very good expose on on Age of Tanks. I personally love tanks. Like, I love tanks, to be honest. So yeah, if you have any questions regarding Age of Tanks, and also like any questions about the tokenomics, like how you can be a part of the game and so on, then please do not forget to like drop your questions either in the Telegram or of course on the YouTube chat. And we'll get right to it at the end of the stream. Yeah, thanks a lot. Also, do not forget to actually fill out the the Google form at the bottom of the stream so that you can get your pop at the end of the event for this particular event. Thanks a lot, Jackson. I really
Yo,
enjoyed
bro.
it personally.
I would like to play one more video.
Yeah. So next
Still
we
gameplay
will
of
be
our Age of
moving
Tanks.
on to. Oh, okay, awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
So with this, my presentation has come to an end. Do enjoy the video. This is a video recorded from our actual gameplay. So hope to see you guys on our full game launch, and we hope to bring more love and more love and concern all around the world, and to help more people along the way. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks a lot. Awesome. That's actually very nice. Um, I mean, personally, I love PvP, so yeah, that's actually very cool. So do not forget to actually drop your questions, and we'll get to them at the end of the stream. So to not waste any more time, we are going next guest, who is someone from Coin 98. Um, Going by the name Min this is the head of growth at Coin 98, and she'll be joining us. She'll be joining us to actually talk about Coin 98 and everything there is to know about it. Yeah, thanks a lot for joining us. We know you have the floor.
All right, thank you, Timlin. So, yeah, first I want to say thank you, Conflux, for doing this, and yeah, we'd love to share more about Coin88. Just take one take a step back and see how actually ecosystem like us can help to work with like Metaverse and GameFi projects. So, yeah, let's get started. Right. So I think the first we'll have also a quick video to show you guys all about us. So please take a look here.
3, 2, 1.
All right. So yeah, we're going to break it down everything in today. So I think the first one would be, what is us about the Coin98 wallet? So we consider ourselves like, a crypto everything app, so we have everything you need from NFT and crypto. We also have the built-in DEX and cross-chain bridges to help you navigate through DeFi and to actually become the gateway to DeFi from like, traditional finance users. So how we can actually get there? So let's break it down. So we actually have we have integrated more than 50 plus blockchains. And also on NFT, we have it on our EVMs, also Solana. We also integrate with like Ledger and Treasure to have the hardware wallet supported, which is really important for like security reason. It's one of the top requested features actually in our last month. So we love to bring it. So yeah, let's take a quick look at all the blockchains that we supported. So we have like on Super App, which is our mobile app. Pretty much all the ones we are. We hopefully to have more coming in the future for sure. We also have extension, not just on mobile app. We pretty much we try to add more on the go as well. But the focus is on the Super App for now. So how about like Web3, right? We actually tried to get this done on our mobile D-app browser. As you see in the video, you can access your D-apps really easy on the go, and we really think that it could be the future where people can access DeFi on the go. For NFT, we are pretty much on the EVM chains, and we probably will add more. For example, near Terra is ready right there, really hot right now. So yeah, we'll be more on that end. So next, so what is the most important thing for a user? We think in a super app, I would say, is definitely having the easy access or DEX and bridges. So it's easy to move. Let's say you're on Ethereum and you just want to move to another blockchain, Solana or any others listed here, Boba, Optimism, Arbitrum. Avalanche is really popular recently, so these kind of tools that built-in bridges that help the user to transfer the assets from one to another is really help to get the user to try out. So we love to see something around conflicts with other blockchains. So we're really working hard on that end to have something like that happen. Next, I'm going to show you guys real quick on what you can do with within the app is our multi-chain DEX aggregator. So it basically have most popular ones, like most popular AMMs on these kind of chains. And we think that this will help to ease the way of the users, where they have the access on Ethereum. They can swap on Uniswap or SushiSwap, but then with the cross-chain bridge from Ethereum to Solana, then they can use the Coined exchange, or we just add like Saros, which is like our own AMM on Solana as well. So these kind of stuff that would make really users can be like the next veteran to DeFi. So yeah, you're talking about that. Once they have the access, the tokens, what they're gonna do, right? There's tons of like DApps out there that we would love to support on our DApp browser, and they can say like easily access it from this one. The most popular would definitely be a few like Panic Swap, or you see here multi-chain is the cross-chain bridge that really popular. Trader Joe, things like that. So this is actually really good, and we would love. I think we're trying also to help to get Conflux the apps working on a mobile, which can enable a lot of stuff for the ecosystem. And yeah, not just that. Our definition of like DeFi can be like a lot of stuff. So how you help you guys to stay in DeFi and get through things. So first would be definitely multi-sender, which is like a really cool feature, I would say, where you can send the tokens to multiple address just to one transaction. So this is a really good if you want to just to send, like for example, a project to send to like a list of the winners of a project, things like that. We also have like Solana migration and Solana claim, which if you're on Solana ecosystem, you definitely know what that is. Cloud Sync, which is like a cool feature to let you back up your passphrase. Everything is encrypted on Google Drive or iCloud, that kind of stuff. Fiat on RAM, which is a really good solution for like newbies, people just getting to crypto. They don't know how to get their first tokens. So this is really easy. We integrate with MoonPay. So you can just like pay with your debit card or bank transfer to get your first tokens. Token issuer is one of the things that can be really interesting for people like just want to mess around, play around with, tokens, but then they don't want to do with anything with coding or smart contracts. So this can help them to issue their own token. You can play with that, on your own right now. If you go to coined.com and just navigate to like token issuer. The same thing with the NFT issuer, which means it's the same like token issuer, but with NFT. So this is where you can, issue your own NFT, and you can make some like you can list that on like search like NFT marketplaces out there like OpenSea or Magic Eden, Ryan, app. Blockchain Explorer is really helpful where you need to check all the transaction or all the hash, that kind of stuff. We also have the market info, which will have like all the information that you need for in terms of like the trends coming. Basically, you can think of it like a CoinGecko or CoinMarketCap built right in your app. So yeah, there you have it. So with that, what did we achieve so far? So we launched in like early 2020. So now we got like over 1 million users, worldwide, with over 1,000 on D apps and on 50 plus chains. The trading volume is we're getting close to that 1 billion mark with like the 700 to the 800 millions. 11 million address generated, so quite growing steadily there. On the extension side, as I mentioned, we do have the extension for like the desktop lovers out there. It's growing quite good there as well. And also for transaction, we're like just over 5 millions. So with all of this, I just want to mention one thing is that we as like wallet in this case would love to explore how we can help to grow with like GameFi or Metaverse projects where we can help to be the bridge, the connection from users out there to your game, to your project. So as Edge of Tanks just presented right before us, as you see, you connect them with MetaMask, which is really popular and standard Web3 wallet. These kind of stuff, we would love to support them as well and bring kind of like user to one of the really cool games that you saw today. things like that. We love to have people to collaborate on that end. So, which bring me to the final point of this is that, come build with us. So we make it really easy for developers. We have it on our docs, which is developer guide with everything you need. All the major blockchains that we support is we're already out there. They will make it really easy for you guys to, let's say, build on, let's say, a project on Ethereum, connect with us, and then you bridge to like Conflux or BNB chain or any other chains out there. Then we will make it easy for you to let's just um, from your already projects built on one chain to another. So this one is the link is there. You can just check it out. And also, if you're building like especially like GameFi or Metaverse projects or NFT marketplace, things like that, we'd love to connect. And yeah, I think that would be pretty much it. And I would love to open to any question you guys may have about Coordinated as a whole ecosystem or anything like that. So yeah, that's it, guys.
Awesome. That's actually a lot of like features to actually like take in. Personally, I love the the interface actually. I mean, I know everyone loves dark mode, so yeah, it's basically all dark mode. So I love dark mode. Yeah, I have some questions personally regarding the DApp support. So you mentioned before that Coin98 supports like a lot of EVM blockchains and like some other blockchains. You mentioned Avalanche, mentioned Terra. You said okay, support was coming for Terra. So I wanted to ask, like, most of these EVM blockchains use like Mnemonics or, if I'm not wrong, private keys. So is it is Coin98 a self-custodial wallet that is can a user bring in his mnemonic and just import it and like is ready to go to interact with this DeFi applications or any other metaverse applications via your wallet?
Yeah. So actually, we let the user to just import with their passphrase. As you mentioned, you made memory notes, which is like, I think that they can, but to make it easier, if you have your passphrase, it's much easier to just like import your wallets from like other wallets out there, or like Ethereum-based wallets. I knew that a few people actually did that before. But also like other with your key and or your passphrase, it should be really easy to import for sure. I hope that answered your question.
Awesome. I mean, yeah, that's like a deal breaker for a lot of users, if I'm not wrong. Like a lot of people don't like wallets that don't allow them to import their pre-existing wallets. So yeah, that's one of them. And also I have another question regarding some, how should I call them? Since this is a wallet, this means that you would show users what assets they have in their particular account, right? So that
Yep.
means that this particular asset need to be listed or need to be recognized by Coin98. Is there any? Is this like a very free thing to do? Like if I have a token that I just launched, can I just come to Coin98 to actually like list my token, or do I have to like go over some, I don't know, maybe pay a fee or something just to
Right.
confirm?
You're right, right. So there's two different things. So let me break it down there. So one, you can add your own, custom token. So we have this called custom token. So you can add your own token, whether you just need your address there, and as long as like it's already done live on the blockchain, then you can add those custom tokens. Do keep in mind that we use CoinGecko as our provider for the price. So you can add your token, but if there's no CoinGecko link that to fetch the price, there will be no price on your token. But yeah, you actually can. You technically can. If you just issue your own token, and you can just add to Coin wallets. It's really simple to do. The second part, if let's say you want to be listed on us as like a support token, there's no fee because as I said, you can list your own token, right? But in order for like if your token or your project is like a well-known, is built for a long time, there's traction, there's people using it, there's like real users, then we can actually like just work with us, reach out to us and from any social or anywhere you can find us. We can just like support your token. And we support it like in if you talk to us, then that way we will make sure that it will show up in our wallet with like perfect, everything's perfect, like the name, the token, um your logo, yeah, the price from CoinGecko, that kind of stuff. So, and then it's also free. So we just need like, as long as there's users and the users have the demand to use it, in our wallet, then we will support for sure.
Awesome. Yeah, yeah, thanks. That answers my question. Yeah,
Mhm.
awesome. Sorry, I also have like some other questions. So during the past 3 years, like we've seen like a surge in the um rise of wallets. Like when you talk about desktop wallets, when you talk about hardware wallets, and of course hot wallets. So like now, like presently we have a lot of them that promise to like give us like offer users a lot of should I say features. So what is uh Core 98 strategy to actually get ahead of like a lot of all these existing wallets? Like what does Core 98 have like in store for the future? Like, oh, this is what we do that is actually different from what other wallets do. And also what is the advice for others for anybody that actually wants to start their business and use Core 98 as like part of infrastructure for their business or something?
Mm. Okay, for sure. So for the first question, I think our strategy, or let's say I would say that our vision has always been like a multi-chain kind of work. That's why we have supported so many chains, like over 50 plus now. That doesn't count the custom network, which you can add your own, like on MetaMask is like custom network. You can add your RPC, that kind of stuff. So you can have like way more, right? So in terms of like, how we think view the strategy, I think that we would focus a lot on the users. So what I mean by that is that, we listen to our, customers like always, constantly, you know. I think that the key part would be the feedback of our users, where, let's say if they need like a chain, they think that's rising, there's a lot of demand, people using a lot of like a new chain or something like that, we definitely want to put it in our backlog to support. The same with like any DApps or tokens. We also want to support our user like really to the next level, where we gonna be using our like in-house customer support 24/7. Is I think it's actually one of the things that kind of like separate us out there, where we trying to bring that centralized experience from like their, let's say, their support from any other apps to something like a DeFi wallet, which is a really rare to see this kind of like support. Also like a few other little things, like we support up to 12 languages. So we do see that there's a growth in like certain region or countries that we support the language. So we plan to add more in the future once we have more resources. So I think that's always our strategy, is like focusing on the users and listening to them, improve on the feedback. And that's how we want to kind of like make it to the next level, when we're trying to be in this like wallet world where there's a lot of like strong contenders out there. And of course, I know, as I said, multi-chain is our go-to, right? So that kind of like go to your second question about like, let's say people building out there, what could be the good thing, like what trying out with the coordinated wallet and all the ecosystem. So I think the best thing is that if your view is also multi-chain, so let's say if you deploy your project on like Ethereum or BSC or something like that, and you see that there's a lot of growth there, but then you can see that people from other chains, they want to play your game, right? Let's say because you're going to GameFi talk, let's say you want to play your game, you're going to deploy that on another blockchain, so that people from like native to on that chain can play your game as well. So let's say you just on two chains, let's say if you're using Solana and any like EVM chain like BSC. So in order to do both of those, you need a multi-chain wallet already. And you can use like MetaMask, which is the most popular one because they don't support Solana. So I think for us, you definitely, if your view is on multi-chain and you plan to deploy your project, the tokens even on multiple chains, multiple network, I think we will be like a good one to be one of the options. I would say I don't want to be like exclusive or anything. I think one of the option to be the DeFi to the gateway to the DeFi world to the users, and I think that could be great for the projects themselves because it will be mean more users using the game, using the app or playing the games. So it's always good to have that kind of like the same vision where you see that you could be on multiple blockchains. So yeah, so that would be my answer for those two questions.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. That's actually nice. Thanks. Yeah, that answers like a lot. Even answers like most of the questions I actually had in store. So yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I think personally I have a last question.
Sure.
So this is actually more of a user experience question. Like most of the wallets I use are actually like focused towards like they are focused more towards EVM compatible chains. Like whenever
Mm,
you try to like check your assets, let's ERC20 tokens aside, when you talk about ERC 721 tokens or ERC 115 tokens, and also when you talk about DApp integrations, it's actually very hard to actually integrate dApps directly into these wallets, like for you to like access them directly. So
mhm,
my question now is like, how can like is there like a type of I know you have mentioned this before about projects actually going multi-chain and
mhm.
Coinite providing like a very simple way for them to actually integrate their project and to actually make Coinite support these multiple chains for them
Yep.
actually. So my question is that how does Coinite achieve this? Like I know it's not easy for a type of wallet provider to actually allow a particular, say, DApp to be accessible on multiple chains via the
Right.
same application. So, like, how do you guys like how do you achieve this? Because I'm
Mm.
trying to picture it and it's a little bit hard. So, yeah, that's my question. Like, how is
Sure.
it? Okay.
Yeah, that's actually a really great question, and I think that there's people out there that are trying to do this as well, but I think it came down to like what are they exactly looking for and how we can help them to do that. So let's use any like cross chain bridges or yeah, I think cross chain bridges is a great example of like how this can be done. So let's say if they you want let's use wormhole because they're from like Ethereum to Solana, which is like on EVM chains to like a totally different chain. So how can Coinade can help them or like have a project like that or have the user journey, the user experience can be much better. So let's say they use MetaMask on the EVM chain and they use Phantom, which is like really popular on Solana as well. So they basically need to have two different wallets to use on two different chains. And let's say wormhole, yeah, on wormhole you can do that. So you bridge from your MetaMask to wormhole, and then to wormhole to your Phantom wallet. Let's say that we allow the project to actually just use one coin 98 to actually basically there's two button, imagine on the front end there's two buttons where you can just like bridge from Ethereum directly to Solana, two different addresses because of two different chains, but on one single wallet or single app. So I think the same way could be applied to like on Terra ecosystem where yeah we see like a lot of actually we see a lot of like people are using bridging from like Ethereum to Terra the because it's like the ecosystem is booming. So it's a great example. Actually, we are actively working with like projects on Terra to make this kind of like easy. If they just use like coordinated wallet, they can just like bridging from Ethereum to Terra really easily, and both of them can be done within like one wallet. I think the best would be like going to like cross chain bridges and see how like the one that actually connect with the with coordinated to make it a really simple and easy way. And even for games, for example, there's multiple games out there right now, and if let's say you're on BSC and also like on Solana, or I think one good case, like, I think BSC on Solana is really popular because BSC get the most retail users out there. You play the games on one, but then you also like want to have it on Solana somehow with the tokens. You can do the same. It's the same app. Our app, but two different wallets there. But that is like some side, but at the same time. So it's really simple. And I think it's a great way to like actually get the users be more flexible on like, oh, I don't need like two different wallets for two different chains or even three, right? So for like or Terra or something like that. So I just need to use one the coordinated wallet to everything. So I think that would be a great experience. So that's what we're trying to do. And I think in the future, in the near future, you will see more of that in action, whether it's the games, NFT marketplace, or things like that. Yeah, another great example is the NFT marketplace. For example, OpenSea. It has been on like EVM, right? And there's like, I think they just announced that they're gonna be on Solana. They're coming to Solana. So, why not just use Coordinated? You can have all your NFTs is display on your app, Coordinated app. And let's say if you want to purchase an NFT on Solana, you don't have to switch wallet, just use the same Coordinated wallet, and then you can still purchase and store and display your SPL NFT on your app. So I think that would be a great example, and I think that people would love to see that, and we're trying to do so with more and more projects. So yeah, let's stay heads up for that.
Awesome. Yeah, I figured that out. Yeah. So yeah, that's actually all from me. I got all my questions answered, and yeah, if anyone in the chat has any questions, they can actually post them in the Telegram group or directly below the chat on the live stream. So yeah, that's actually all from me. Thanks a lot for coming in. Really enjoyed today, and yeah, I actually learned a lot too. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you guys.
Thanks a lot. Yeah. So we will be moving on to virtual worlds now. I mean, we're all talking about metaverses today. So yeah, our next guest without before that, if you haven't done this already, please fill out the Google form directly below the live stream on YouTube to actually get your attendance poop for today directly into your wallet. I mean, poops are actually awesome. So yeah, we'll be getting into the next segment, which will be taken by Kyle, who is the current CMO of Matrix World. And yeah, he'll be taking us through an introduction of Matrix World. So yeah.
All right. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us. I hope you're really enjoying these lectures and sessions. I hope you're taking something away and learning a lot from this. And just thank you for your time today. My topic today is Matrix World and the Metaverse. I'm going to start by talking about the Metaverse in general, and then I'll transition into talking about the project I work for, Matrix World, a multi-chain metaverse and an immersive dApp platform. But before we get into that, I want to tell you a little bit about myself and my background. So you can call me Rehack. I am the CMO of Matrix Labs. And I've been exploring the blockchain ecosystem for quite a while now. I first got into it back in 2011. So in 2011, I was introduced to Bitcoin by some of my friends, and I had an old gaming computer sitting in my living room. I was close to setting that up to start mining Bitcoin. I read through some documents, looked on some forums, but after a day, I decided that was too much work for a few extra dollars a month. And yeah, that was a big mistake that kind of shaped how I look at blockchain today. I decided I'm never going to miss an opportunity like that again. So fast forward to 2013, that's when I really got involved in the space and I started investing and trading. And I've been following the development of these different networks, these different chains, and the technology ever since. Now, I think another thing that's important to understand is that I do come from a bit of a gaming background. So when I was younger, I really enjoyed MMORPGs. These are massively multiplayer online role playing games. And I think this plays a part in my understanding of what the metaverse is. In my mind, these were, in essence, the first iteration of metaverses. They were virtual worlds, they had their own economies, they had digital assets, they had virtual real estate, virtual marketplaces, and it's very similar in a way to what NFTs, Web3, and metaverses are doing nowadays, but it was just centralized. We didn't have that ownership aspect to it. All right, so enough about me. Let's get started with today's presentation. What is the metaverse? I think we might have touched on this a little bit talking about the MMORPGs, but this is a question where if you ask 10 different people, you're probably going to get 10 different answers, even when you're talking to people in the industry. In my mind, I think of the metaverse as just the digital extension of our world, of our existence. And I like to think of it in that very open sense. I don't like to put it into one small box, right? I think there are so many possibilities, as we'll discuss, and so many different directions where this can go. So for me, the metaverse is just the digital extension of our existence. You could consider the internet a part of that, a factor that's shaping that. Now, if we think about it, it's also the intersection of a lot of different aspects. So now we're moving on to the metaverse as not only an extension of our existence in the digital realm, but also as some sort of world, right? Whether it's 3D or 2D, but some sort of immersive world. And it's going to be the intersection of so many different things that are already popular in our society, right? Networking events, things like this. But online, this will bring together social networking, gaming and entertainment, how we work, education, online communities. All of these things are going to come together. And we're going to start getting new forms of entertainment, new forms of exploring these, right? Such as virtual events, which are getting very popular, new ways for content creation, new ways to work and earn, commerce with these virtual immersive stores where people can buy and sell things. Maybe they're even buying and selling digital assets like digital clothing, digital wearables. And of course, this is going to be a big place for online communities. So seeing all of these industries, all of these areas of our life funnel into one thing, this just shows how powerful this concept is and how much potential, in my mind, this industry has. Before 2030, this is actually estimated to be an 800 million to 1 trillion US dollar market annually. And this is probably why we see almost every major company investing heavily into the metaverse, trying to transition, trying to expand their product offerings, or like Facebook did, changing their entire business model. So a few of these companies include big names like Apple, Microsoft, Facebook, now known as Meta Platforms. You have NVIDIA, Valve, Tencent, NetEase, Epic, the creators of Fortnite, Roblox, Unity, ByteDance. The list just goes on and on and on. And if we look at how much they're putting into the metaverse, Meta, for example, they're investing $10 billion into the development of their metaverse platform. So again, I think that just speaks to how big the metaverse is going to be and how much things are going to change because of this. Some other interesting areas to consider are digital wearables, luxury goods, so people can flex in essence and show their status online, right? This market is expected to exceed $50 billion annually for digital wearables in the metaverse, other places like that. Along with this, we're seeing a boom in AR, VR, and MR. So augmented reality, virtual reality, and mixed reality. Right now, the market is around $30 billion annually, but a lot of analysts expect this to reach over $300 billion annually before 2025, mainly looking at the hardware related to that. Even cities are starting to embrace the metaverse. Seoul in South Korea was the first major city to announce plans to create a fully realized virtual ecosystem for all areas of its municipal administration. They're going to have these different government buildings and facilities and functions available in the metaverse, available online. So it's really interesting to see this is going into all parts of life. It's not just gaming, right? It's not just entertainment. This is going to change the way we do things fundamentally. How we create, how we work, how we learn, even how people earn money, right? Play to earn gaming is another trend that I see becoming massive within the next 3 to 5 years. And over the next decade, we're really going to see the metaverse narrative take shape. So I'm really excited about this. I can't wait to talk about it today, where it's going, and maybe where you can find some opportunities, how you can take advantage of this. Just to put it into perspective, if we're looking at some companies that are involved or getting involved in the metaverse, here we go. It's a massive list, and I'm sure this doesn't even scrape the surface, right? I'm sure there are even more involved than this. So it's going to be big, it's coming, it's happening, despite what the naysayers may think. And if we talk about opportunities again, we have to think of different layers. Everything from the infrastructure and the hardware to how we interface with it, right? All the way out to the user experiences and everything in between. There are opportunities for builders, for creators, for people every single step of the way. So some people think, well, I don't want to make a metaverse shop. I don't want to make a metaverse store. It's much, much, much larger than that. Okay. One thing I will say, hardware is really interesting. A lot of people seem to be pushing the VR, AR, and MR narrative. I do think virtual reality, augmented reality, will play a large part in the metaverse, but I don't think every metaverse will be VR or AR. That's just when someone wants deep immersion, in my opinion. And I think we're going to see a lot of different types of metaverses. Everything from something mobile that you can access on your phone, maybe you're commuting to work, maybe you're waiting in line, to something that's VR based where you're wearing a headset and you're really immersed, you're at home enjoying your time. So I think we'll see many different implementations. It's not going to be all or nothing, right? And in the same sense, I don't think it's going to be a winner take all game. I don't think it's going to be one platform and we all use that one platform. So let's look at the progression of the metaverse. We'll go back to Web 2 and we'll kind of trace the progression, where I think it's heading from what I've seen in the industry. So going back to Web 2, this is what I was talking about with these games like MMORPGs, World of Warcraft, RuneScape, maybe Second Life, some of these different games where it's an actual virtual world. They're socializing, there are marketplaces, there are digital economies, there are digital assets, even virtual land, virtual real estate. But the biggest issue with this, what I call the first iteration of the metaverse, is that users were not empowered. They couldn't truly own these assets. They could spend hundreds of hours to earn something, to build up what they have in that virtual world, but it's not truly theirs. They can't take it out of that world. They can't transfer it somewhere else. If the company running that game decides to shut down the servers, it's gone, right? So the first big step in the progression of metaverses, in my opinion, was moving from Web 2 to Web 3, allowing people to actually own these digital assets, right? Going from centralized to something more decentralized. So now the asset is yours. You can take it off of that platform. You can sell it to somebody else. That virtual currency actually has real value, okay? And this is, again, how gaming helped me understand that, because I saw the intrinsic value. I saw how attached people got to these items. I saw in these video games, people would pay real money to buy the digital in-game currency. So this is just making that possible with Web 3. The first iteration in Web 3 is the single chain metaverse. So there are many single chain metaverses, most of them today. And this is good. This is a huge improvement because of that ownership. But there are still some issues with that. We'll touch on it later, but it's pretty much fragmentation of the ecosystem that we're running into. Now, the next step in this progression is moving to multi-chain metaverses. That is what our project is building, and I think we are one of the first to try and really implement a true multi-chain 3D metaverse. There are others who claim to be multi-chain. I don't know if I feel that Polygon and Ethereum are multi-chain. I kind of view it as one branch off of the same tree versus completely different networks and ecosystems. So multi-chain solves some of these problems. It allows users to access more than one ecosystem, maybe not just Ethereum or not just Sol. In one world, they can go to Solana, they can go to Flow, they can go to Ethereum, you name it. That's where multi-chain brings us. But multi-chain doesn't mean you can take your asset from one chain to another. If your asset is an Ethereum asset, it's going to stay on Ethereum. You just have the ability to access these different chains from one world. So the next step in improvement could be something people are calling omni-chain. If any of you trade NFTs, you might have seen Ghostly Ghost. Recently, it was a popular NFT, and it was the first one to really go after this omni-chain narrative. So the idea behind omni-chain is now all of these different networks are bridged together. So if you have an NFT on Ethereum, you could switch the NFT to Flow, to Solana, to all of these other networks. You can put the NFT on whichever network you choose. Okay, so this is increasing the interoperability, making assets easier to exchange, and further connecting these different networks. The last step is what I call the metaverse. So if you notice in all of these other examples, I said metaverses, because we have these multiple isolated virtual worlds. I think after we tackle omni-chain, the real ideal metaverse is going to be completely connected. These different metaverses we see now are just going to be a different part of that world, of that digital universe. And these are all different digital worlds that will be eventually bridged together, more interoperable. You can go between these different worlds with your assets, right? So I think that's what we're really working towards, is building up that interoperability so everything is more interconnected, right? Kind of like the web today. You go to your browser, you can access all of these different websites, right? Now, as I said, that would be the ideal metaverse. Everything is interoperable. Everything is connected. That would be perfect. Will we fully get there? It's hard to say, but I think that is what we are approaching. Right now, I would put us between the second and the third step. And that's where my project comes in. So, our project is called Matrix World, and our goal is to create a Turing-complete multi-chain metaverse to provide users with a higher level of customization, a better experience, and in general, to just move metaverses closer to that ideal by making the leap to multi-chain. So our focus here is to be creator-friendly, to be very immersive, and to provide a wonderful social experience. Some of the key features we have to reach that would be our multi-chain connectivity, first and foremost, and as well, the ability to create immersive 3D dApps, decentralized applications. We're also going to include programmable NFTs and objects, some automated tooling to help average people build if they don't have development experience or 3D modeling experience, and a few other things to note. We will have a space name server to make navigating between spaces easy, and we plan to be decentralized, sticking with the whole Web3 theme. So let's start by looking at multi-chain connectivity. I know I touched on this a little bit earlier, but the idea behind this is we want to remove some of these limitations that single chain is causing, right? So users can experience a more unlimited world, more possibilities. They can connect to multi-chain dApps, different external services, different networks, all of these other resources. So let's revisit single chain and the issues with it. There's something called single chain fragmentation, right? The idea behind this is that by only offering a single chain connection, you are fragmenting the entire blockchain ecosystem, right? You are breaking it off into these little pieces. Here's ETH, here's Solana, here's Flow. And that causes a lot of problems, not just for users, but also for creators. So if we look at most of the popular metaverses today, we've got like Decentraland, the Sandbox, Crypto Voxels. I would consider these all single chain. It is worth noting that Sandbox now supports Ethereum and Polygon, but again, I kind of view Polygon as an extension of Ethereum, not necessarily a different network. So we want to solve this problem first and foremost. From the user perspective, this will give users just a better experience, right? Now you have more applications, more projects, more things at your fingertips in one world. You don't have to switch worlds. You don't have to go over to a different metaverse to experience the projects of a different blockchain. But this is also very powerful for creators and developers. It gives them more possibilities with their dApps that they build and what they can do. And it gives them access to a bigger market. So hopefully helping with the liquidity of assets and reducing friction to sales, which is a big thing to consider. Currently, we support Flow and Ethereum. And I've talked to many project founders on Flow, and some of them are in these metaverses, like Decentraland, Sandbox, for instance, but they've said that it's really tough being in those metaverses, right? When they have a shop, users can't actually interact with their dApp or with their marketplace natively in that metaverse. Users have to leave the metaverse, go onto the internet, find Uniswap, maybe switch some tokens, find their website, register a new wallet, connect to their website. it just breaks the immersive metaverse experience. And it also puts a lot of friction on the sale. So a lot of people might just ignore that project. They might just pass it by because it's too much work for them to do all of this. They don't want to be bothered. So we want to fix that, right? We do plan to add more chains in the future, but we're just starting with 2 for the time being. Along with this, we'll be able to connect to these external smart contracts and these external services. So now imagine the same experience in Matrix world. They have their Flow marketplace or their Flow shop, and a user from ETH walks in. They can have a programmed object, which is an ATM that connects to Uniswap. They can swap some tokens, get the currency they need, and then they can go interact with the Flow contract or the Flow marketplace all in one immersive experience without ever leaving the metaverse, without leaving the world, without any friction. That's what we're trying to build. That's the experience we want to give the users. I think that's much more pleasant, if you ask me. So let's dig into this a little bit deeper. What's behind that? We have a few different systems and things to think about. First is the identity, right? We have to create, and we are creating, a multi-chain identity system. And what this will do is manage the user's identity across multiple blockchains and multiple networks. The idea being you can have multiple wallets connected to one identity. And this multi-chain identity system will manage those wallets when you interact with different contracts on different networks. We want this all to be seamless. So it's happening behind the scenes. The user doesn't really have to think about it. They can just enjoy the world, interact with whatever they see interesting. Now, the next part of that would be the external contracts. So to enable this and to make it more powerful, we're also allowing these users to connect to external smart contracts on these different networks. So that's what's really helping to remove these single chain limitations, right? You can connect to Uniswap, you can connect to Flow DeFi, Solana DeFi, whatever you want, all from within the world. On top of that, we're adding these external services, maybe streaming services, storage protocols, marketplaces, things like this. And the whole system is built to be extensible. So as I said, right now we support Flow and Ethereum, but that's going to grow. We've made this system so we can continue to add more and more blockchains on top of this. And we hope to incorporate all of the major blockchains that are being used for NFTs right now. So some that we would like to add in the future, consider things like Solana or Avalanche or maybe Wax, BNB chain, right? Some of these big names. Moving on, let's go to the next feature, immersive 3D dApps. So I kind of talked about this when I touched on the ATM, right? We want to empower creators so they can enrich and extend the world by building these immersive 3D decentralized applications that can connect to these external services. So they can build these different DeFi protocols or a game, a marketplace, and it's immersive. It can all be experienced in the world. You don't have to go into your web browser or on some website to interact with it. To do this, we need to have programmable NFTs and objects. So that means the objects and the NFTs you import into the world, you can actually program them. I believe we're going to use JavaScript for that, but you can program a life cycle into these NFTs, into these things. You can make them interactive. And that becomes very powerful. Like the example I mentioned before. You import a model that looks like an ATM, you write some code, and you connect it to Uniswap. That would just be a simple example for a creator who wants to provide some utility to the users coming to their land or their build. But it can get much more complicated than that. You can use your NFTs or your objects to build games or immersive marketplaces, all these different things. And I want to touch on the system we will use for that. So starting all the way zoomed in, right? the NFTs. We're going to allow not only the import of your NFTs, but also the creation of NFTs within our world. Taking a step back, all of these NFTs will also be matrix objects, right? Matrix objects are programmable. So you can import this NFT, it will be a matrix object, then you can program that NFT to make it interactive in the world. We have two main types of objects, scene objects and entity objects. Scene objects are your highest level objects. Entity objects are your lower level children objects, right? Now, moving up another level, we have something called the Space Virtual Machine, or SVM. The Space Virtual Machine is a virtual machine that will provide compute resources and storage for these dApps, right? So if you're running a dApp, you need some compute resources, you need some storage for the dApp and for the things you have on your land. That will all be managed by these Space Virtual Machines. We plan to make this decentralized, so while they can be hosted by Matrix Labs and Matrix World, we also want to give the opportunity for users to host their own SVM for their spaces, right? And a space is what we call the build on that one land. So the space, maybe you have one land, all of the objects, the dApps, everything you build on that land is one space. Now, an interesting feature we're adding is if you have lands that are next to each other, you can actually connect these lands, you can combine their resources, and you can make more complicated dApps and have more resources to build with. All of this together turns into the matrix network, right? And what we really want to build here is not only a metaverse, but a platform for immersive dApp creation. So this first image shows us a small model of a space. You have your Space Virtual Machine, and you can see it is managing that scene object. The scene object contains all of the entities, and the entities together with the scene object will create that dApp, that interactivity. If we zoom in a bit, we can look at what a matrix object looks like. So the matrix objects will be fully programmable, right? You can write functions within them. You can manage their physics, mesh, texture, do transforms, have media attachments, whatever you can think of, right? It's Turing complete programmable. And this will all be managed by that SVM. It will take in events from the event publisher and the interaction client, and it'll put that out to the content rendering client. Zooming out, we can look at the matrix network, which we talked about. So these SVMs can also be interconnected. You can have a dApp that's running on multiple SVMs, maybe if you connect some of your lands together, right? Or you can have an app that's just a single SVM, and all of these SVMs can communicate with each other, and this is going to create the network. So as you can see, we're trying to build something bigger and not just a virtual world, but really a platform for users to create. We want to empower them. We want them to use their imagination, bring their ideas to life, and get closer to that ideal metaverse. We want to take away these limitations. We want to make everything as interoperable and connected as we possibly can. Another part of this comes in with the convenient and automated tooling. Now, everything we just talked about, it sounds great if you're a developer, but it's a bit overwhelming for people who don't have development experience, people who don't know how to do 3D modeling, anything like that. So another part of it is thinking of the average user, something I think everybody should do if they're making an application or if they have a project. So think of the average user. You don't want to intimidate them. You want to attract as many people as possible, and we plan to do that through convenient tooling. WYSIWYG model editor, what you see is what you get, to make modeling accessible, along with the scene editor to make the interactivity side of it a little bit more accessible. So people can do low code or no code programming by using these templates, right? Altogether, we'll have templates for the models, we'll have templates for the building, and we'll allow users to have a way to earn by building those templates. Say you're a dev, you can build some of these templates, put them on the marketplace, sell them to other users so they can build. And this will all be tied into our space name server, so users won't have to go to a wallet address or an NFT address. You can have that nice, easy to read name to navigate to their dApp or their land. That's kind of the big picture, and what do we see this being used for? Just like we talked about before, everything from socializing and networking, right? You have social clubs, you can have conferences, you can have meetups, right? Trade and commerce, having shops, making marketplaces, making your dApps, games and entertainment, whether it's a play-to-earn blockchain game or a virtual concert. You can also have education and work. This is something I think that is kind of underlooked at the moment, but I think a lot of people may end up working in the metaverse in some way, shape, or form. We've seen that in the past couple of years with COVID and the pandemic. Many people are working remotely and working from home. The next iteration of this might be some people working in the metaverse. Also, some people attending lectures, universities, getting tutored in the metaverse. So a little bit more immersive, you get that human connection. And of course, we also want to provide ways to earn, whether it's through building templates, making your own creations, advertising within the world, making your dApp. We want to empower users as much as we can and give them as many options as possible. So this is what we're trying to build. This is how we are trying to progress the idea of the metaverse and make that next step. The team behind our metaverse is called Matrix Labs. So I joined Matrix Labs late last year, but the team itself was actually founded back in 2017. So they were founded in Vancouver. It was a group of students, tutors, professors, and they met in the Ethereum ecosystem. Okay, so they've known each other since. They've always been passionate about blockchain and building. One of the things that really sparked their interest was actually CryptoKitties. Now the team is actually over, I should say, 60 members. We got about 10 new members recently. So the team is over 60 members worldwide. We're in Vancouver, China, Pakistan, Australia, Singapore. We are all over the place. But going back to the core team, that goes back to 2017, and Dapper Labs was really a big inspiration of theirs. They saw CryptoKitties and they were inspired to explore that path, to explore blockchain gaming and NFTs, right? This inspired one of the team members to create a series of games. One of them was Cell Evolution, and this game was kind of a breakthrough for the team. Won an award, and it kind of got them into the blockchain gaming industry. Moving forward to 2018, they met up with White Matrix and helped to develop the wonderful Chain IDE. Thank you for co-hosting this. And since then, they have continued to publish different research on blockchain, on metaverses, on multi-chain, and they've also hosted about 100 events or more similar to this. We love taking part in these. We love helping to host them, and we just want to give back to the ecosystem and really bring more people into Web3, bring more people into blockchain, and help it grow. A brief overview of the roadmap. Right now, Q1, we are just working on some of the back end for that. So that multi-chain identity system, the building tools, the avatar system, all of these different things. And Q2, continuing that and moving towards alpha. So by the end of this quarter, we're hoping to have an alpha version of this world available. It'll have, some of the basic versions of the building tools, the space virtual machine, all of this for users to start testing out. Moving forward in Q3, we're really going to focus on improving those tools, adding more functionality, and expanding what users can do. And in Q4, we hope to release the beta, you could call it, the next step in Matrix World, where we have just more features, more functionality for the user. And going through into 2023 is when we want to get the full version of the world out. Quick look at some of our investors. Big thanks to all of them. We recently raised our first round of investment, $5.5 million at a $50 million valuation. Test Ventures, Everest Venture Group, Come to Us, and Y2Z. These were our leads, but we also had some big names following on, such as Dapper Labs and Animoca Brands. And I have to mention again, Chain IDE, this developer ecosystem. We really love giving back to the developers. Chain IDE is one way to do that, and we want to support this developer network because we know that over time, these developers are the people who are really going to bring life into the metaverse. If the metaverse is filled with a bunch of speculative investors, it's just going to be empty, it's going to be bland, it's going to be boring. So we really want to support the development by giving back, by giving lectures, by helping people learn how to build these dApps, right? Helping people learn how to develop. And we think in the end, that's all going to flow back into the metaverse and just make it more interesting, to help it thrive, to make it interactive. Now we're just working hard on the alpha and really trying to get that released by the end of this quarter. That's all I have for today. I want to thank you all for giving me your time and joining me. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you enjoyed what I have to say about the metaverse. If you want to learn about our project, you can check it out at matrixworld.org. Thank you all. I hope you have a wonderful day.
Awesome. Wow, that was actually a lot of like alpha. Yeah. So thanks a lot for that. This takes us to the end of today's session. Just to give a recap of what we have actually done today, we started with Age of Tanks, where we had Jackson from who is the co-founder and CEO of Defi Nation and Age of Tanks to actually come and talk to us about like what they have actually been doing, how development has been going for Age of Tanks, and he also showed us some gameplay videos. Next was Min O from Coin98, and he showed us how the Coin98 self-custodial wallet was actually working, and showed us some like videos on how it would actually empower a lot of like applications, DeFi applications, NFT platforms, and all of that to actually integrate seamlessly with Coin98. Like ask some bit of questions, and yeah, it was a lot. And finally, the person we just had, which was Kyle from Matrix World, showed us how they have actually been preparing the metaverse world to actually support like multiple custom applications. And he also showed us like the roadmap and showed us where we are. So yeah, thanks a lot for that, Kyle. So yeah, we have actually come to the end of the session today. And also, before you leave, do not actually forget to fill in the Google form at the bottom of the live stream on YouTube to actually get your pro attendance protocol token for today. And yeah, do not forget to join us tomorrow for the dev summary and advice from VCs, which will be starting by 14 o'clock GMT plus 1 tomorrow on the same. You can actually watch it from YouTube just like you have been doing all these days. So yeah, I'm Timidan again from the African the Conflux African the tech lead for Conflux Africa. And yeah, I've had a wonderful time today. I hope you did too. Have a very nice evening for everybody. Bye.